Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment. Today is Wednesday, July 19th, and the Yankees were wrapping up the road trip from hell in Anaheim. Carlos Rodon had another very tough start. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
How's it going, everybody? Another edition of the Bad News Yankees as they get swept by the Angels and the plummet continues. Congratulations to the Angels. They set a franchise record for strikeouts by their pitchers in a 3-game series with 44. Maybe we can fire Dylan Lawson again. Maybe that'll do it. Yankees just keep digging that hole deeper, baby. It's like when you're a kid and you want to dig your way to China. You know, I'm just going to start digging, and you dig for like 2 feet, and then you realize digging sucks and it's hard, and so you stop. But the Yankees are trying to dig their way out the other side of the earth. That's how deep this hole is getting. It's to the point where it's not even surprising anymore when they get beat. It's becoming a daily occurrence. I think it's appropriate to say now that the Yankees have a losing culture. I think it's appropriate to say that. Even though you're above 500, the team is a massive disappointment. And I think we talked about it a lot on the stream this morning, about why. I don't have it in me to do another rant, but it's sickening. It's sickening. And it's more depressing than anything. It's more depressing than angering, honestly. I don't like to rant. I don't like to be that unhappy with the direction the Yankees are headed. And I know a lot of you agree. The perfect world for me and for this podcast, this is all I want to do, is come on where most nights things went well, play some fun sound effects, crack a few jokes, do a little bit of 15 minutes or so of stand-up comedy about the Yankees, play some fun sound bites, hand out the belt, and go to sleep. That's, to me, the perfect job. But when they're playing like this, it's incredibly difficult. It's been a tough season for Yankee fans, but it was both entirely predictable and preventable, which I think is the most frustrating aspect of this. And I don't see any way that the Yankees can get significantly better at the trade deadline or this winter. Ken Rosenthal said today, and I respect Ken Rosenthal a lot, that he thinks the Yankees might be both buyers and sellers. I think it might be a mistake to buy at this deadline. I think you should just unload as much as you can, start from scratch. I don't know if you guys like to draw. I like to draw. My pad's over here. I would show it to you, but I like to doodle. But sometimes you want to make like a really good sketch. Like I like to draw ideas for what I want to do in my backyard. Like, how I want to build my garden, things like that. How I want to set up certain rooms. So I'll draw it out. And at some point, you've got so many erases and so many corrections and stuff that you just want to change to a new piece of paper and start fresh with a clean drawing. You kind of know what you want, but you've messed up a lot along the way. So sometimes you just got to start over. Angels called up a pitcher today from AAA to start, and he immediately struck out the Yankees 3 times in the first inning. That should have told you how this night was going to go. And then Carlos Rodon came out and served up a 2-run home run in the first inning. I mean, that's just how it goes for the Yankees lately. Franchi Cordero hit a double in the second and then immediately got picked off.
I'm an average nobody.
Well, he didn't get picked off. He was trying to get to third on a ground ball in front of him. Just a stupid base running mistake. Look, the Yankees do nothing right. Rodon served up another 2-run home run in the second. That made it 4-0. People were all over him. And after his second start, I defended him. I don't get on people after 2 starts. But after 3 starts?
I'm an average nobody.
Rodon was terrible today. Full stop. Terrible. Awful. Body language, stuff, command. The hitters were having great swings. He was pitching like a left-handed Hideki Irabu. I won't go as bad as to say Keiagawa, but Irabu. And it's hard not to be worried about this guy's back when he missed half the season with a chronic back condition, and now 3 starts in, he has got a 7.36 ERA. And today he walked 5 guys and only struck out 3. I tell you, it's not looking good.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
At one point, Yankees fans were giving him crap as he walked off the field. And so he blew them a kiss. Just blew them a kiss. Wrong way to go about it, dude. I know you're new in town, but that is the wrong way to go about it. He's going to find out the hard way what happens when you get off on the wrong foot with the Yankees fan base. Don't pitch for 3 months and then come out and throw some gas on the dumpster fire that is this season and then blow a fucking kiss at the fans. And sorry, I'm cursing a lot today. My mom wrote me an angry email about cursing today. And all I have to say is, Mom, I'm 40. I know when it's appropriate to curse and when it's not. This is a sports talk show. And all due respect, Mom, I've got you. You're not my target audience. So once in a while I will curse, but I think it's appropriate sometimes. It's in the Bible. Frustration words. Not that I read the Bible. But it's you're allowed to vent, right? Just not a great way to get off on the right foot with the Yankee fans, blowing them a kiss like that. Rodon was done after 4 1/3 innings. He gave up 4 hits, 6 runs, 5 walks, 2 home runs, and 1 smooch. Not great, my dude. Not great. Giancarlo hit a solo home run to make it 6-1, and Sean Casey lost his mind like it was the 7th game of the World Series. That is going to get old very fast. Very fast. We don't cheer and go nuts in a 6-1 game. Yanks got another run on an RBI single from Kyle Higashioka in the 6th, but left the bases loaded as they have done way too often this season and in the last few years. Franchi Cordero hit a home run for the Yankees' 3rd run, but then there was a fly ball to left field in the bottom of the 8th, and you got to watch this to believe it. This is Oswaldo Cabrera, Tommy Kahnle on the mound, and Cabrera has no idea what the hell's happening on this play. Boy, bounces into the stands. And the Yankees lose another tough one.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I somehow doubt we will get them next time, to be completely honest with you. I do want to say, I agree with Jay Mata's take here. Props to Kahnle for showing some frustration and showing some emotions. Absolutely. We want to see that kind of fire on this team. We want to see that. 24 Telly Sports says, we need to rebuild this team in the offseason. I don't know if it's possible. Doug Rao says, don't worry about Stanton. He's due for another IL stint any day now. You're not wrong, my man.
Oh!
Jeffrey Eisenberg says, Yankees payroll $279 million, Orioles payroll $67 million. Yankees in last place. Orioles in first place. Something wrong with this picture? Well, the Orioles got there by tanking for several years. To the Yankees' credit, they never lose on purpose, really. Like, they don't have those years where they go, 50 and 110. That doesn't happen to this franchise. But I think that they believe because they spend the most money and because they have 30 people at the table in the front office that they're automatically going to have an edge up, in terms of baseball IQ in the room. But I think we're finding out that that's not the case. The Rays consistently are the model you should look at. They're not like tanking. They just rebuild every single season and retool. And they're always good. They traded Blake Snell. They traded Will Myers. They traded guys that were fan favorites that came up with the team. Going back to really Scott Kazmir, right? Or no, wait, that was the Mets, right? Or the Mets traded Kazmir to the Rays and then the Rays traded him somewhere. I don't know. But they have a history of trading their young guys to get good prospects, but they almost always do well with those trades, it seems. I'm not an expert on the Rays. I keep getting texts. Sorry, guys. I got to turn that off. they keep, finding ways to win with the extremely low payroll. Unbelievable. Mr. Potato says, sell. Got to say I agree. Lori C says, Rizzo was yucking it up in the dugout. Not okay. I didn't like Gleyber Torres playing on the field with the plush kitten during the middle of a 3 or 4 game losing streak either. Luis Penafiel with a dono, appreciate that, says, wow, just wow. I don't know what to say or how to say it. I'm still hopeful. At least we still have your podcast to reflect and represent us. Thanks for still showing up. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Hey.
Pasha Noble says, this is like a silent Charlie Chaplin flick. I had to make sure that my volume was on when you said that. That scared the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. That's like my worst nightmare is, starting a podcast and talking for 10 minutes without my mic on, because that happened twice in the early days of this podcast. And it startled me into using a USB mic, so I never had to turn it on and off until recently. And I just recently switched back to using the XLR. I wanted a little bit better sound production quality. The audio version of this podcast is doing really, really well now. And so I wanted to make sure that it was sounding as good as it possibly could. But now I have to remember to push a button every time that I come on. And you just reminded me to turn up the volume just a tad. Doug says, Rays got Kazmir from the Mets for Victor Zambrano. It's Zambrano. Luis Mora says, Rodon can kiss my ass. That's the comment of the night so far. I think until this one, Mike Rotondo says, happy birthday, Paulie. I love it.
Absolutely. Hey.
I love it. I love Rocky IV, man. It's like my favorite of the Rocky movies. I know Rocky I is a classic, and I know Rocky II is also pretty good. But Rocky IV with Drago, anything he hits, he destroys. And then what's the other one? Hang on. I got it here.
He dies.
Oh, man. Tony says, Hal is most definitely confused. If you recall, he said that he was confused as to why the Yankee fans were upset. I mean, does he have a little better picture of it now that we've lost, 10 out of 12 or something like that? 10 out of 11? Could that be possible? This team is going to fall under 500, I think. I really think they might. I don't know if they're going to finish the season under 500 because they are going to get Judge back at some point. Although you have to talk about this, and this is something that I want to hear from you in the comments and I want to see in the comments. Do you think the Yankees, if they continue to lose like this, should even bring Aaron Judge back this season? He was talking about how his toe might not be right for years. For years. And, you have to consider if surgery is the right option if you've got an injury that's going to be that chronic. And the time to do that would be now, so that he doesn't lose off-season training and can be ready for his spring training. But at this point, I'm inclined to just say, Aaron, take the rest of the season and get healthy, bro. Come back next year and stay away from the walls. I'm inclined to think that because, he's too important to the future. He's part of the future because of that contract. Isaiah Lorenzo says, jersey advertisements, losing, and happy about it. No passion. The only tradition should be winning. Let's grow beards and sign fun players. CWE says, sell the team. Look, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not feeling optimistic about the way this franchise is headed, either in the short term or the long term. We're going to take a look at the box score tonight, but I'm warning you, avert your eyes. This is not suitable for fans of good pitching. I'm going to take a look at this box score here. Carlos Rodon, 6 earned runs, sporting a 7.36 ERA, 1.43 ERA, or 1.43 WHIP, I'm sorry. You're seeing people compare him more to Carl Pavano now. That's unfair. Carl Pavano didn't pitch, at all. He actually started the season with the Yankees in, I believe it was 05. He made about 4 or 5 starts, and then I don't think he pitched for like 2 years. Maybe he pitched like 1 game or something over the next 2 years. Rodon at least worked his way back, but, you know, he could be Kenny Rogers. He could be Irabu. He could be Jarrett Wright. I guess we're about to find out.
A what?
Jack also unhappy about the smiling in the Yankees dugout. You know, I feel like we need the Billy Bean scene from Moneyball, where he smashes everything in the locker room, says, "This is what losing sounds like." I can't picture Cashman or Boone doing that, though. Sean Casey sure as hell isn't going to do it. Sure as hell. Unbelievable. So, Yankees get 8 hits. Peraza 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Absolutely awful showing for him out of the leadoff spot. Remember, we were ready to put him in the Hall of Fame a couple of nights ago. Torres 1 for 5. Stanton 1 for 4. Andrew says a Moneyball 20-game win streak would help right about now. If the Yankees won 20, I'll tell you what, Andrew. If the Yankees win 20 games in a row starting tomorrow, I will buy you the jersey of any Yankee that you want. Any Yankee that you want, because you'll bring the mojo. Any official jersey. So, yeah, I mean, just a tough night in general for the Yanks. I don't know if this is up to date, this standings here. 50 and 47. Yankees 9 games out. Orioles made a trade today. They are now tied for first place. They are going for it. They got, what's his name, Fujinami from the A's. So, hey, Yanks probably just not their year, you know? Saber says Gray, then Montas, now Rodon. Yeah, Montas is another one, you know? Trade half the pitching prospects in your farm to get him, and he does absolutely nothing. Tristan says there won't be any change to this organization until fans are not in the seats at Yankee Stadium. And that is the correct answer. We have to vote with our feet. That's how you impact major corporations, is that you stop buying their product. That's the only way to do it. 1,058 people in the chat. Sal Rappa says, struck out 16 times and allowed 11 walks. Sounds like winning baseball, doesn't it? Sounds like modern Yankee baseball, unfortunately. And we didn't look great in the field. We got guys playing out of position. You know, Cabrera came up as a good right fielder, but he was an infielder in the minor leagues. And so they just kind of threw him out there, as they've done, you know, they did that with IKF this year. Why don't they just sign or trade for a real left fielder? How difficult can that be? Or call up the Martian. Or Pereira. Pereira's killing it in AAA, and he's a top prospect. Why are you so scared of using your prospects? What if they fail? Everything else you're doing is already failing. It can't be any worse. Symbiote says, Peraza shows time and time again he can't hit at the MLB level. I think it's too early to say that. He hit over 300 last year in his short cup of coffee. He's only had a few at-bats this year, so I think it's a little bit early.
Wrong.
I think it's a little bit early for that. Landon Thompson says, I hope the Bronx is ruthless on Friday. I do too, man. I want to see the Yankee fans be like the Yankee fans of old, and not these corporate types who show up in their $2,000 seats and their $3,000 suits and order the sushi. We should do a reverse boycott of our own, where we show up, but the real fans show up. And then we stop showing up. Show up for one day, let them know how we really feel, get the chants going, get the signs up, and then the next day, everyone sit out. Everyone stay home. That would be something fun to watch. Colin says, Ruth Langmore has more heart than the Yankees. Is that the chick from, what's that show? Ozark? I think it's Ozark. And I think she got shot in the heart, so I think I get your joke. Lou Rom says, Yankees and Red Sox battling each other for last place. I don't think we can call them the Red Sox when they're ahead of us in the standings. I think we lose those privileges. Annalise Muth says, a picket line outside of Yankee Stadium would be a good slap in the face the front office needs right now. I want to know what would be on your picket signs, people. How about a real left fielder? Get us a real left fielder. Jay Val says, pathetic, man. For real. Val, in case you're new here, the all-time call-in.
He can't hit.
Oh.
He can't hit for nothing.
The all-timer. I laughed so hard so Val called in and he was just talking about Joey Gallo like he had never seen him before. Like he was like some alien species. He's like, this guy. He was like, it was so, you could hear the wheel spinning like he was analyzing in real time what he had been seeing from Joey Gallo for like months. And he was just like, man, he can't hit for nothing. And I lost it. I lost it. Still my favorite. Danny Boy says, most teams bring up AA prospects. You're absolutely correct. You are absolutely. Ball game over. Ball game is not over. I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit this button. A lot of teams are going to that younger prospect model. They are trying to, get these guys experience while they're at the peak of their athleticism. You saw it last year with Michael Harris. You've seen it a lot with the Reds this year. Reds, man, they're a fun team to watch. They are 51-46, so only a little bit better than the Yankees, but they weren't expected to be this good. And they got guys like Ellie De La Cruz, and I mean, it's astounding to watch these young players come up and play with energy and heart and passion. Part of me wonders if the hot summer also has something to do with how bad the Yankees are playing because, they got older players. And I can tell you from experience, the older you get, the more the heat wears you down, man. I'm telling you, it does. But so does the cold. I guess just getting old sucks. But at least we get to die at the end of it. Jack Wagner says, ball game over. Season over. Yankees lose.
Game over, man. Game over.
Richard says, this is the worst Yankee team I've seen in 62 years. I wouldn't go that far. I would say 1990 was bad. So 62 years ago was what? 1961? So you've been a fan since 61? I'd say the late 60s teams were awful. The early 90s teams, 1990, 1991, also quite bad. Worst team I saw was 90 or 91, and that was right at the beginning. That's when I became a fan. That's why it was so cool when they won. I always thought of when I was growing up, the World Series, it's like what the Braves played in, what the Twins played in. I didn't expect the Yankees to ever get there. Then 95, they make the playoffs, and it was like, oh, man, maybe we can make the World Series one day. And then 96, they come out and they win it all. And that was the beginning. And that was, best years of my life. 96, 98, 99, 2000. But those days, unfortunately for Yankee fans, appear to be long in the rearview mirror. And there doesn't appear to be much help on the horizon. I hate to sign off with 1,100 people on, but, I just want to thank everybody for sticking with us. Even through a tough season, we try and show up after pretty much every game. Some of the West Coast games at the end of the summer, especially when we're losing, tough to get on and stream at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I appreciate you guys tuning in for the morning recaps recently. We have moved up in the rankings for the audio podcast. We've got over 33,000 subscribers now. We've got over 11 million views, 11.25 million views, I think. This has been an awesome channel. It's been an awesome community for you guys, and I want to thank you and just say hello to all the new people who have joined. And I hope you ride out this season with us. We got some trade deadline stuff coming up. I can probably start working on the postmortem pretty soon, honestly. But we got typically the biggest month for this channel is October after the season's over, and we release a lot of like winter stuff. But the post game has been difficult this year because the Yankees have been so bad. But the only thing getting me through it is the support from you guys. So as Jack says, Send in the clowns. I'll see you next time.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.